Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, and I'm going to share a quick video from Love is God 7Q about what he thinks about this manufactured spike actually being in progress right now. And so I'm going to discuss that. And I see Bitcoin trying to rise. So are we really in this bull run? And what keeps knocking Bitcoin and the markets down? And I'm also going to discuss some things about when we do reach some of these prophetic pricing points, big decisions are going to have to be made. And we still have that XRP case still looming out there. Now, folks, before I go any further, I am not a financial advisor. I am just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. So if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube. So the first thing I want to bring up and remind folks that despite all the dreams and visions, despite everybody trying to put all the pieces together, no one has a clear 100% path of how things are going to happen. You have many people right now that are complaining about so many different things about the crypto markets, and yet you don't even understand what's actually taking place and what is keeping Bitcoin down. But if God did give us a clear path, then the enemy, the government, the bigwigs would know exactly how to counter and stop things from happening. And I've shared this, but you should be focused on right now what God is telling you, right? I took a little time off and it was much needed. And people shouldn't be worried about every single coin that I talk about. I told you guys that you don't have to buy every coin or every coin that I discuss. That's something that you should always evaluate, take a look. And I haven't even discussed all the coins that I've bought. And I told everyone that we are in a place of waiting. And I've been saying this for the last couple months. And I even shared that we should shift some of our focus from the investment part and start to stockpile everything, right? Food, water, cash, make sure your financial institutions are up to par, making sure you have a plan. If you're unable to do those things, how many of you actually have a plan about what you're going to put into your storehouse, right? You don't even have your plan ready, but you're ready for the money. So what I've been seeing in this time off that I've had, I see a lot of people are not really truly ready. So before we get into the video, I just want to share with you guys where Bitcoin is at as I've made this video at 27,287. And it actually reached a high of 28,800. It was getting ready to hit that 29,000 mark. And then we had some additional news to knock it back down. And this latest news actually took Bitcoin down to 26,600. So this video from Love is God 7, the Bitcoin manufactured spike is in progress, Sub-Zero's next. So this is what he believes from some of the things that he's saying. I'm going to share some of my opinions and go over some of the things that he's talking about and touch on some other things dealing with this Bitcoin crash to zero, right? Flash crash to zero. So this video will be down below in the description.
Hey guys. So one of my beloved subscribers requested that I make an update in regards to the cryptocurrency markets. Now, what you guys are seeing here with Bitcoin is most definitely the manufactured spike. And my dream is literally unfolding. Because of the narrative that mainstream media is currently pushing, a great number of people now believes that Bitcoin may potentially reach up to $1 million by this summer. Now, while in my vision I wasn't shown how high it went before it tumbled, I'm pretty sure that it was nowhere that high. Personally, I'm expecting it to go up to at least 41K. And I'll tell you why in a second. But beloveds, please don't be misled or deceived by this narrative that these people are pushing. For in my vision, it was very clear to me that this move was a suicidal move, meaning the ones that were responsible for this move intended to destroy themselves, and others were also in the markets with them. I also remember clearly that Bitcoin was struggling to rise, as if it was being forced to rise. Yet a better word would be straining. It was literally straining to rise. And I believe that it was trying to clear one of two things. Either it was trying to clear its all-time high, which is around 60K something, or it was trying to smash 100K, but it failed in its attempt. And this is just my personal interpretation of what I saw. It was either trying to clear its all-time high or 100K, but it failed miserably. And so while it is very exciting, because it appears as if the bulls are back, don't forget that a black swan is coming, and also Sub-Zero. Pay very close attention in the coming days and weeks, and prepare to take profits, and set some low buy orders. Also, it's very important for you guys to pray and ask the Lord at what price, what Bitcoin price you should exit before it starts to crash. Now, in the past couple of weeks, I've been asking him the very same thing. At what Bitcoin price I should exit the markets. And I had received this dream, which I definitely believe was an answer to that question. In this dream, I was in a room with an old woman, and this was a room, not an apartment, not a full apartment. And this woman was getting ready to leave her apartment. And I was a little bit concerned because I was thinking to myself, where is she going to live now? And why would she leave her apartment? But then she told me that she's getting ready to rent it out. And so I asked her, at what price are you renting it for? And then she told me $41,000, 41K. And in this dream, I was literally helping this woman to clear out all of her belongings from out of this apartment until it was completely empty. And so I definitely believe that this dream was an answer from the Lord in regards to my question about what Bitcoin price should I exit the market. But this was personal. This was for me. And so I suggest that you guys go to the Lord and pray and ask Him for yourselves at what price you should exit. Because one thing is for certain, this current rise in Bitcoin is its final attempt before it crashes to zero. And I can say this with confidence because I didn't come up with this knowledge by myself. This was made known to me by Yah Himself. And so as He has shown it to me, it shall surely come to pass. And like He did in the past, He will once again part the Red Sea so that His beloveds may cross over without harm. Now, beloveds, this was not any financial advice, because I'm most definitely not a financial advisor. This was guidance given to me by Yah, and I've decided to share it with you guys. And so I'm asking you to pray. Pray, pray, pray for your own guidance. Because even myself will continue to pray and ask for more confirmations as to when I should jump out of this market, because that's very important. The timing of when to come out is very important. Because as sure as the sun shines, this market, and I believe it's not only limited to the cryptocurrencies, but also stocks, the equity markets, and all others are getting ready to tumble off a cliff. And there will be blood in the streets, beloveds. So, prepare yourselves. Order your Ledger Nano X and learn how to use it and get in position. Now, that's all I'm going to share for now. The Lord and King Yahushua HaMashiach, King Jesus, bless and keep you all. Love from a brother in Christ.
All right, folks, so there's a few things that I want to go over dealing with what he was saying with this. And he talks about, at the very end, your Nano X, to make sure that you have one. And, I've told you guys that, maybe about 10% of what you have right now, you should put onto a ledger, maybe in various cryptocurrencies, whatever the case. But you should pray about it, and it should be something that you should put up and not have to touch, right? This is what you are putting back as a just in case type of situation. And there will be decisions that have to be made. When to exit the markets and how much to exit the market. Now, I do want to say this, that we still have this XRP case that is still out there. This decision has not been made yet, and we are expecting it not to go in the way of XRP. Right now, it looks like that we are in progress of getting up to this 41K mark. So what actually happens and what takes place? Well, we know that Bitcoin has been getting beat up in the news. You can see here, starting in March, where you had a hit here, you had another hit here, right? And on its way up, it's just continuing to go up, but yet still get hit. And if you just remember the news, right, we had the whole thing in the beginning of March, Silvergate. So when Silvergate crashed, right, so did Bitcoin here. Then after a few more days, Bitcoin crashed again. So what happened? Circle's USDC stablecoin breaks peg with 3.3 billion stuck at Silicon Valley Bank. So we had that issue. After the issue was resolved and all the deposits were covered, USDC was repegged and we saw Bitcoin begin to move again. But ever since then, we just have piece of news after piece of news in the month of March. SEC plans lawsuit against Coinbase, according to Exchange. New York sues KuCoin, expands cryptocurrency crackdown. Right? Then more recently, SEC charges crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun and his companies for fraud and other security law violations. So he actually got arrested. It didn't have too much effect on Tron very much, but it had an effect on Bitcoin. 8 celebrities also charged for illegally touting Sun's crypto asset securities. Right? Then we had the CFTC suing Binance. Right? And this is supposed to be a pretty big deal. Maybe they're trying to put them out of business, according to what this article is saying. Right? So with that, you have, it's just a continual up and down. And I kind of wish I would have threw some money into a trading bot for Bitcoin when it was at least still around 19, 20,000 or even 21,000, because it's just consistently going up and down. And this is the whole thing. We have a crypto war that's going on, right? You got Binance caught in the crossfires, CFTC lawsuit aimed at SEC, right? Because you have this power struggle between the CFTC and the SEC, who's supposed to be regulating cryptocurrency, right? So you're going to see more of this. Binance has just been getting slapped over and over again. And it's, but Bitcoin is still trying to get back up there, right? So there's all these things they're trying to do to hit the markets, right? They know who they're going after, right? And so they're waiting. It's almost like they wait for Bitcoin to go up and then they try to come out with some news to slap it back down. He also talked about Black Swan events, right? The XRP case is one. And then you have the Russia-Ukraine situation that could explode into Europe. NATO, there are prophecies out there about NATO getting involved, right? Then you also have the China-Taiwan thing. There are prophecies out there too as well, right? You could have another issue with the banks or cryptocurrency. So I think when he was talking about Bitcoin was trying to strain to go up, I think it was just because of the news. I just went through all these news pieces and you can see just Bitcoin just getting hit and coming back up. Every time it goes back up, that something hits it and, they're trying to take it back down. And so that's what is happening right now. So if these events wouldn't have taken place this month, I guarantee Bitcoin would be sitting at probably around $35,000, $38,000. Then he talked about this 41K, right? And the dream that he had about it. And this kind of is correlated with some other people. And I'm going to actually do a separate video on this. And we have multiple people saying the same thing. Christopher Harris, we had Johnny Currency 365 talk about this manufacturer spike. Also, Milton talked about 41K and then going down to 32K. And then you have, Johnny talking about going from that 32, 33K for a couple days and then coming to crash down. And then we have the Maria Conwell's Blind Bull, where people think Bitcoin is going to be going on its run. And it's actually just going to come back down. And it deals with XRP, filling up on XRP. Right? So we've been over that in past videos about the flash crash and XRP and all that. So you guys need to do the research, right? And then also we have another prophetic dream about when Bitcoin is going to reach 53K. And I'm going to go over all this stuff. But one of the things I wanted to bring up was since multiple people are seeing that 40 to 41K mark before things start to come down, decisions are going to have to be made, right? And I still haven't came to the conclusion of if I'm going to sell off mostly everything, right? I'm talking about like 90% of my portfolio when Bitcoin goes to 41,000, right? Because if you sell everything, right, guess what? We're going to be waiting for the flash crash, waiting for Bitcoin to hit that 10,000 mark. The rest of the markets will follow. That means the price of where you see all these cryptos are at right now will be much, much cheaper than where they're at right now. And guess what? Because of you selling off everything around that 41,000 mark, you're going to have the money for the crypto buffet, right? And we've been over the flash crashes that are supposed to happen around the 8 to 10K mark, the back-to-back flash crashes. We talked about how cheap some of these prophetic words dealing with some of these other cryptocurrencies during this historic flash crash. So we discussed all that. So these are just thoughts. I'm not telling you to cancel your sell limit orders. But one of the reasons why I have like my Shiba Inu and Luna Classic sell limit orders in there is because I'm waiting to see if there's going to be flash spikes, right? So I don't know, like if I'm going to sell off all my Shiba Inu or if I'm going to sell off all my Lunic. I may sell off a good portion, and then all my other alt cryptos, I might just get rid of them all because I can get them back at a much cheaper price when Bitcoin does flash crash to zero. Christopher Harris talked about the same thing, how everything's going to be like below a penny. And so you have to be able to make that decision whether or not, well, if I have 50 million Shiba Inu, do I really want to keep it all and take some of the profits that I have from that when Bitcoin goes to 41,000 and then reset up buy limit orders for that same crypto, right? And then have some additional cash on hand. So if we know that Bitcoin is going to go to 41,000 and that is a exit point, how much do you exit out of Shiba Inu, right? So then that way you can take profit and then set up low buy limit orders for Shiba Inu, right? Because we do have some of those pricing points. All I know is that I put together a video that had multiple people saying they saw a flash spike between $1 to $15. Same with Luna Classic, the same thing, there was a flash spike, right? These are all things that have to be discussed in the community if we are to go by these prophecies about exiting the market around the 41,000 mark. So that's why you have to pray about it. Just to go back to the two videos, Luna Classic Prophetic Dreams, flash crash, then flash spike between $10 and $15, right? These are prophetic dreams of flash crashes and flash spikes. Same with Shiba Inu, from $8 to $11 will happen suddenly. Like I said, decisions are going to have to be made on your plan and what you're going to do. So that's all that I have for this video, folks. I'm going to go over in depth on some of the other prophetic words dealing about an exit point before the markets begin to come down. That will be the next Bitcoin video that I do. Now, Bitcoin is edging back up to that 28,000 mark again, and it's going to go over 30,000 here soon. And then it's going to be 35,000, then it's going to be 41,000. Whatever happens, we're going to get more news. I believe that once we hit that 41,000 mark, we'll start to get heavier news, and then there'll be the Black Swan event that takes everything to zero. That might even include stock prices too as well. I'll get into that a little bit later. So I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.